Now the next thing that I want to create is the holes on this face for air ventilation. So I can go to insert menu, select cutting submenu, and can find hole tool here. The first thing I want to do is to click somewhere here, for example here, and now you can see that this is the exact tool that you use when you are creating holes on solid objects. So this is easy to click on this position sketch and sketch out the point that you want to have. Or you can do as I do. I can select this face and go to sketch environment. This is my preferred point because I can click on a point and put the point somewhere and add some constraints to this point. You can see that this is selected. I select the constraint tool and select the vertical or horizontal axis and put some constraints here. Both are going to be 80 millimeters. So this is the point, this is the vertical axis, and it is going to be 80 millimeters as well. Now by selecting this and fully defining this point, I can get out. I can go to insert menu, and by selecting insert menu and going to cutting submenu, I can select the hole tool. Under hole tool, I can select the face. And now that I have selected the face, instead of selecting this point, I want to select this point. Or let's cancel this out. Better to go to insert menu again, go to cutting and hole. And first of all, select the point instead of selecting the face. By selecting the point and then selecting the face, you can see that the point is exactly where I want to have it. The diameter of this point is going to be 6 millimeter. And the depth, I don't want to have depth because I want to select it from up to last type. So by clicking on OK, you can see that there is a hole here. Okay, I can open the part body, go and hide sketch 6, and you can see that the hole is gone. The next thing I want to do is this. I want to replicate this hole. So I will go to insert menu, go to transformation and select a rectangular pattern here. The first thing I want to select is the hole that is going to be replicated. The hole is selected. Now I can have 12 instances in one direction and 8 instances in this other direction. So in first direction I select 8 instances, and they are going to be 12 millimeters away from each other. I highlight the reference element, and this is going to be my first direction. You can see a preview of this. If you're not happy with that, you can click on this little arrow and this will change the direction, but I'm happy with that because this is the correct direction. Now I go to second direction because I want to have different rows of this. I want to have 12 rows, and each row is going to be about 10 millimeters away from the other one. And the reference element is going to be, for example, this line. I can see that the correct direction is selected. That's okay for me. If you want to have some of these holes, you can zoom in, and you can find some points inside these holes. If I click this point, you can see that this hole is going to be removed. If I click again on that, you can see that the hole is coming back. Now by this, I can have some patterns of my selection. That's okay for me. I can click on OK. Now the holes are generated for me. Okay, let's zoom out and pan down a little bit. Select this face. I want to cut some other types of holes here. So I go to sketch environment and start drawing an elongated hole here. So I can go to insert, go to profile and select the elongated hole here. Oh, let's find the elongated hole, and I draw an elongated hole here. Let's zoom in because I want to have some constraints here, or I draw this like this and have this like this. By paging up, I can go and remove this constraint. I don't want to have this, or by removing this, I can select the circles, and the diameter is going to be 6, so the radius is going to be 3, and this line is gonna be 15 millimeters. So I double click on this and make it 15. Now I want to have some constraints, and this is going to be about 85 millimeters. For example, I can select this line and select this vertical line and add a constraint here. This constraint should be 85. And I want to select this top point. That means the circle of the upper, the center of the upper arc. And select this horizontal vector and add another constraint. This constraint is going to be about 70 millimeters. Now that's it. So I exit my workbench. I will select cut out tool, and up to last is the type that I want to have. I click on OK, and this is created for me. Now I want to replicate this as well. So I go to insert menu to transformation and select rectangular pattern. Select this cutout tool, that is the hole that I just created, and I want to have 4 instances in one direction, and that direction is going to be, for example, this direction. Let's change this to 15 millimeters, and reference elements highlighted, and this is going to be the direction, for example. And in second direction, I want to have about 5 instances by 25 millimeters of distance. And again, I click this, and I can see that the direction is correct. If it is not correct, I can click on this little arrows. I click on OK. Now I have created these holes here. Okay, by selecting this face, I want to create a sketch that is going to be used for slots. So select this face, go to sketch environment, and draw a very simple rectangle here. This rectangle is going to be like this, and it is going to be 100. And let's double click on this and make it 100 by 10. So this is 10. Now I need some more constraints. The right line is about, by selecting this vertical, I want to add this constraint here and double click on this. I want to make sure that this is about 17.5. And the other line, the top line, and this horizontal vector are going to be about 75 millimeters. So I type in 75 and exit. Now I exit my workbench, select the cutout tool again. I can see that I'm selecting the same tool several times because I am doing a very simple thing. So this is selected by default. Again, I should go to transformation and select the rectangular pattern. And I want to have about 7 instances, and between each of them I want to have 18 millimeters, and the direction is this. I select this direction. You can see that the correct direction is selected, and I click on OK. Now let's zoom out a little bit and see what it is looking like. That's very nicely create a shape here. And let's do the rest in the next section.